Good morning, all of you. Welcome back to the course on cryptography and system security. I hope I am audible and the presentation screen is visible. I was explaining about why we need to go for a certificate, right? So this certificate, the digital I was explaining about your school certificate, school living certificate or mark sheet. Based on that example, I'll proceed with that, right? So here, whatever the certificate which is issued by the authority, education authority, it might be the university or might be from your department of school, and the certificate or the mark sheet which consists of certain details and name and as well as the subject marks and followed by the declaration. At the bottom you will find the signature by the authoritative as well as the seal. So this certificate which no gives that an authentication that you passed in all the subjects, right, and whatever the mark which is scored, right, and which has been authenticated or approved by the particular signing authority. Similarly, when we talk about digital certificate in the public key infrastructure or public key uh, network, right, where the digital certificate which has a certain informations, right, so the entire certificate parameters will discuss under the topic which is 6.509, right. It has different entities like certificate versions and then identifier, right, and then the different users, a public key, right, as well as the digital signature, and then the validity of the certificate mainly, right. So these are the certain parameters which are the part of a digital certificate. This digital certificate can be given by the certificate authority, right. I'll be explaining what is the certificate authority. It's a trusted third party, right, who has the repository of all the users public key, and behalf of the users the certificate authority will issue a certificate to the different users who are in the public key cryptography technique, right. And based on the certificate, each user they will share the information to other users, right. Along with the information they will share the certificate. The receiver will verify the certificate. So this certificate will have the user's public key, and based on the public key they will ensure that the message or the information which is coming from an authenticated user. Okay, so this is what the digital certificate stands for, right. Right, I was explaining about the different entities, right, which are different parameter which part of the certificate, right. Digital certificate is simply an X.509 which we'll be covering in the next session, right, with the digital signature, right. So the data represents who own the certificate. So this is the author of the certificate, to whom the certificate is issued, right, and its identity, and who signed the certificate authority, who signed the certificate, right. The famous, the certificate authority is very so. There are different certificate authorities, and from them we can get the certificate, right, when we are using for a public key technique for encryption as well as decryption, right. When the signature is generated by the certificate authority, the signature can be viewed as a trusted, as I mentioned with if you are no getting the mark sheet from the university or board of study, right. So which consists of the seal as well as signature, that means that the certificate or the mark sheet which has been received from the trusted organization or trusted party, right. So since the data is signed, it cannot be altered without deduction, right. So here, once if the certificate is issued with the valid seals as well as signature, that is valid for a lifetime, right. And these are the certain parameters which are associated with the digital certificate. The version, there are different versions under this X.509, version 1, 2, 3, and then the certificate number, serial number, right. So every certificate which will have the unique number, through that the certificate authority will maintain a repository with serial number certificate which is issued to whom. And the signature algorithm, here it can be any signature algorithm which is used to create a digital signature, right? Again, issuer name, so this is certificate authority. And then validity period. Validity period means that the certificate is valid for only particular time duration, right? Apart from the time duration, the certificate will expire. After the certificate or after the validity, the certificate is invalid, right, which becomes null, that will not be used, right? And subject name is, right, which is name of the user or name of the owner. And subject public key, so this certificate will consist of the user's public key. Say for example, this certificate is issued, subject name is A and its public key PUK, right? And issuer unique ID and then subject unique ID and other parameters, and at the end which is a digital signature which has been signed by the certificate authority. Okay, so these are the parameters which will present in the digital certificate. I hope this is clear. Any queries regarding the digital certificate components? Okay, right, the same concept which I have explained so far, right? I can skip it. Now this is the detailed explanation how the certificate authority will issue a certificate, right? Suppose the user A wanted to get a certificate from the certificate authority. Now let's assume this is user A and user B, right? Now this is a trusted third party which is a certificate authority. Now user A is sending the request, right, to the certificate authority in order to get the certificate. The certificate authority which creates a certificate and which will be issued to user A. CA stands for certificate of A, right? The certificate consists of some information, identity of the A. Identity can be the name of user A and the public key of A, and followed by the key which is shared between this certificate authority and then A. The certificate which is encrypted using a key KR which is shared by the certificate authority as well as A. The certificate will be forwarded to the user A. By receiving the certificate, he will do the decryption. In order to do the decryption, he will use the key KR. Now KR is the key which is only known by this certificate authority and A. So here, in order to securely deliver the certificate to the user, the certificate is encrypted using a secret key which is only known by the certificate authority and A. And based on that, after receiving the certificate, you will do the decryption, you will get the certificate. With the help of the certificate, you will send a message to user B, right? In order to send a reply, right? Again, similarly, B will send the request to certificate authority to get this certificate, right? Now these are the different information which present in the certificate: public key of B as well as identity of B, and then the time at which the certificate is issued, and the entire certificate which has been encrypted using a key which is only known by the certificate authority and then B. After that, the certificate will be delivered to the B and you will do the decryption with KR, and this B will get a certificate CB, right, based on this certificate, and he will send the request. So after that, they can have any number of communications, n number of transaction till both the users validity expires. Okay, is it clear? Okay. Now I'll be explaining about the certificate life cycle, right? First thing is that a key pair is generated in order to generate a certificate, right? A key pair is generated in order to issue the certificate to the corresponding users. After that, the certificate is issued, right? And once if the certificate is issued, what happen? Okay. Once if the certificate is issued, right, and followed by whatever the key pair which is generated, the key pair will be used, right? And unless until if the security is not, if the key security is not compromised, the certificate will be valid. Once if the certificate is expired, as I mentioned, the certificate which is valid only for the particular time duration, right? And if the certificate expires again, so they will check for the key pair lifetime and then they will recertify again, which will send the request to the certificate authority to issue a new certificate, right? Before that, a new key pair will be generated based on the new pair of keys. Here, the pair of keys are the public keys as well as the secret keys, right? So, the secret key which will be shared between this only this certificate authority and user A. Here, certificate authority to user B, and public key will be that the public key which has been generated for user A, right? Suppose during the certificate validity, in case if the private key is compromised, if user come to know that the private key is compromised, if we talk about a public key, we will be using a public key as well as private key. If the user's private key is compromised anyhow, right? So after that, the certificate is revoked. That means that the certificate is no returned back or taken back. Now after that, it will do the measures and then it will take a precautionary actions in order to change the private key. After that, new certificate will be generated and that will be issued to the users. This is how the certificate which created and then revoked after its expiry, as well as in case if the security is compromised in terms of keys, again the certificate can be written back, new certificate will be generated that will be issued to the user freshly. Next, we'll be discussing about some of the entities which are be the part of a public key infrastructures, right? So this is again a public key infrastructures, right? So here end entity, right, are the users, right? And followed by the certificate authority and then registration authority and then CRL, certificate revocation list. When we talk about certificate revocation list means that, see, every certificate which has a certain time period validity, in terms of validity, suppose if the certificate validity is expires, right, so that is called certificate revocation. The certificate to be taken back, that is called revocation. Now revocation list is a list of certificate which is issued to the different users and which is no just keep a track of validity. Now it is very similar, right? Whenever you are recharging and suppose if you have validity only for 3 days and you will be getting a notification, right? Your no SIM card which is going to be expire, the validity is going to expire. You need to renew it soon. Similarly, here the certificate authority before it's expiring and you it will get a notices that whether the certificate has to be renewed, right? The old certificate will be taken back and the new certificate will be issued based on the request which has been made by the individual users, right? So here the certificate CRL issuer, certificate revocation list, certificate authority who is responsible for creating as well as issuing the certificate, and then registration authority, which is combined with the end users in order to register all the individual details of the users or the subscribers, right? So we'll discuss all the components one after the other, what actually this entity has performs. When we talk about certificate authority, which is a trusted third party, and apart from that, which enrolls and validates the subscribers. So here these are the different users validations, right? All the informations of the users by means of the name and other information which are going to be validated, right? And issues and manages a certificate, right? This is creates a certificate and issues the certificate based on the request, and manages a certificate in case if the key is compromised, and certificate revocation or certificate cancellation and certificate renewal, all other operation with respect to the certificate management which will be taken care by this certificate authority, as well as which manages a revocation and renewal of the certificate, right? Revocation is that it is returning the certificate or taking back the certificate, and then if the request received in order to renew the certificate, again renewal will be takes place again, as well as in case if any updation comes, depends on the standard organization policies, that will be updated, right? In order to implement a new techniques or a new no versions which has to be updated based on the policy which has been generated. When we talk about the certificate authority along with this role of actions, right, there are certain other quality related things which are to be maintained, which is operational experiences, as well as so this should be less in cost, as well as which is the security to be high, right? When you're issuing a certificate, the certificate to be at any cost, there should not be any no a compromise in the security of the certificate which is issued, as well as scalability. And so this certificate authority which should be responsible even if the number of users is increases, as well as flexibility, as well as interoperability, as well as trustworthiness. So here when we talk about certificate authority, the first thing you're supposed to remember is that the trustworthy, right? If a certificate is issued by the certificate authority that acknowledge that which the certificate authority is the trustworthy party through which the certificate is assured, right? Next we'll be discussing about different tasks or operations are carried out by the registration authority. Registration authority where the individual users will enroll certain informations, right? Enrolling, de-enrolling, as well as approving or rejecting the request changes to the certificate attributes of the subscribers. Here the subscribers are the users who are requested for certificate authority to the who are requested for the certificates to the certificate authority, right? So in order to request a certificate, these are the operation has to be carried out, right? You need to register its own information, right, by means of the name as well as other identity and other informations. After that, right, so this registration authority will take a decision whether the request can be accepted or whether it can be rejected, as well as validating the certificate applications depends upon the application where we use the certificate which has to be validated, right? As well as authorizing request for key pair. Here I was explaining about the key pair, right, which can be maybe selected by the individual users or the subscriber, or the key pair can be selected and which can be issued by the certificate authority, or the certificate generation and request for the recovery and backed up keys. So here in case if the key is compromised, right, automatically the certificate will be revoked, and based on the otherwise the user can send the request. Suppose if you feel that, see, if you wanted to change the certificate based on the organization policies, say for example, um, when you are using a ATM card, As per the standard, the banking policies, every after a month or every after a 6 month, the key has to be changed. Otherwise, I can say in another example, when you are using internet banking, where you need to use a two password. The first one is transaction password, as well, sorry, the first one is login password, and the second one is a transaction password, right? Based on the RBI policies, every after a 3 months, both the pin numbers, transaction password as well as the login password has to be changed. Am I correct? Similarly, suppose if the user wanted to change the certificate every after a time period, and he can send the request, right? As well as, and depends upon the request, he may get the new certificate. As well as, the registration authority is responsible for accepting and authorizing request for certificate revocation or suspension. So this certificate revocation or suspension request will be made if the user comes to know that its private key is compromised, or if the validity expires, again he can send a renewal request, right? Again, so this can be approved by the registration authority. As well as, another important responsibility of the registration authority is physically distributing personally tokens and recovering absolute tokens from the people authorized to hold and use them. This is very similar with the certificate authorities, right? In order to get the certificate, right? So to make sure that they are the authorized users, this registration authority will issue a token. This token will assume in the terms of secret key, which is only known by this user A and certificate authority. Okay. So once if this is confirmed, once if this user is authenticated, then only you will send, the user A will send a request. Before that, you need to confirm by means of specifying or sharing the tokens that can be considered as a secret key. Any queries regarding the certificate authority as well as registration authority explanations? Okay, I hope there are no more queries regarding this explanation, right? So I can forward to the next slide. So the next, the entity which we are going to discuss is a certificate revocation list, right? Again, as I mentioned earlier, the certificate revocation list, right? Which certificate authority, which every after a time period, which publishes a data structure which is called a certificate revocation list, right? So this will consist of each certificate serial number which has to be revoked, right? So this list will be issued to all the users, right, by mentioning that the validity of the certificate, right? If the serial number, here I was explaining about a serial number of the certificate, right? So the serial number is a part of a digital certificate, right? And the certificate authority will maintain a repository, right, in which the serial number, and then to whom the serial number certificate, digital certificate, is issued. For the corresponding users, it will send a notices that expiry of the message, expiry of the digital certificate. After that, they can initiate the process of renewing it, or if they are not renewing it, the certificate will be taken back by means of revocation process. Okay. So here, the other entities which are related to that, the concept which we discussed, registration authority as well as certificate authorities, and then the different repository which we presents, right, which is certificate revocation list, or maybe the digital certificate list with the different parameters. Again, when we talk about the certificate policies, right? So when we talk about the policies, right, which are maybe the rules and regulations, how the certificate has to be created, how securely this has been delivered between the different entities who are involving in the public key authority or public key configurations, right? So this, the certificate policies, which is completely a basis for the trust between the unrelated entities, right? And which not a formal contract, but which consists of certain rules and regulations and standard policies and procedures through which how the certificate has been generated, how it is delivered to the different users securely, right? So which consists of uh, a public key infrastructures which informs both informs as well as constraints of PKI implementation. This PKI, which is public key infrastructures, as well as the policy which has a statement what the certificate means. So here this, the complete informations are the different components of the public key certificate which takes place, right? So here this component which vary from different version to version, version 2, version 3, version 1, right? So this policy will be updated periodically in order to generate a certificate, right? And then a set of rules which are defined for the certificate holders, right? And when how the certificate can be used, right? And in case if anything happens, if the security is compromised, and how to renew it, all uh, the rules and regulation, and then certain policies, right, which are defined for the certificate users, right? So these are the certain norms or procedures in order to generate a certificate, as well as how the certificate is delivered to the users. Whenever the user is using the certificate, what are the different procedures which has to be followed by the user, how the certificate has to be used. All these certain policies which has been defined and comes under that certificate policy. Okay. So when we talk about a public key security, right, and so these are the four pillars through which, right, this public key infrastructure which try to achieve. The first one is privacy in authentication, integrity, and then non-repudiation. So these are the services which can be acquired with the help of the public key infrastructures, right, which is based on these entities security management and upon certificate authorities, and this certificate authority will provide a digital certificate and based on the public key technology or public key technique, public key cryptography technique, right? Based on these parameters, right, this public key infrastructures which achieve all these services, right? Already we discussed about all these the services with respect to the public key cryptography as well as secret key cryptography in detail. I'm not repeating this, the four services again. So when we talk about suppose if we get a questions, what are the different services which can be attained using a public key technology, you can mention all these four services: privacy, authentication, integrity, and non-repudiations, which can be implemented with the help of the certificate authorities which will issue a certificate, this digital certificate which will be based on the public key technology. Next, how this authentication as well as access control can take place with the help of a digital signature as well as digital certificate. Actually, this digital signature which is used for an authentication, digital certificate also which is used for an authentication, which consists of the public key as well as other user related informations. Next, this topic may be the part of unit number 5, which is network security. I thought of I can give a brief summary through which you will understand how this digital certificate which works in the different layers, right? So SSL, which is a secure socket layer, right? I think you would have studied about this SSL 128. Now when we talk about HTTPS, which is hypertext transfer protocol, which is secured one, right? So whenever using any online transaction, all your information which are going to be encrypted using this SSL 128 bit, right? Whenever if the data is transmitted using the network, right, and using this TCP IP protocol, right, your information which are going to be encrypted using 128, which is secure socket layer, right? I'll be explaining about how this SSL protocol which works in order to ensure the digital certificate, right? So here SSL, which is secure socket layer, which provides encryption between the server and the browser. Suppose this is the user who wanted to browse something. Now this is an server, say for example online transaction, if you wanted to buy any products through online, right? So now this is the server of our Amazon or maybe Flipkart or any merchant, right? So this is the server. Before that, right, the server connects to the secure, sorry, the browser with the help of, I mean, browser which is the browser which is used by this client end or the user end. First, that will try to connect to the server of the merchant, right? Once if see whenever you are typing that amazon.com or flipkart.com, right, and during that communication itself, right, so this the communication will be established and followed by the server will send a copy of the server certificate, which is a digital certificate. I was explaining about certificate, right? This certificate will be issued by this server and that will be passed to the browser, right, or the user, I could say that. Now user will verify the signature, and based on the data which is signature or based on the information which is present in the certificate, yes, when we talk about this certificate, I hope it is clear, right? Whenever the communication takes place, if the browser from the client end, if I am using a browser, if I'm typing any website name, right, once if the my browser is connected to the server, right, automatically the certificate will be shared with me from the server, right? By receiving the certificate and the browser, all the things which are happening behind the screen, right, the server or sorry the browser will receive the certificate, and it ensures that the certificate consists of certain informations. Based on those informations, now browser will generate a session key, right? In the last session I explained about the difference between a secret key and a session key. Session key is also a secret key, but the validity is restricted, right? So here the browser which generate a session key, that session key which is transferred to the server by means of encrypting that information, or encrypting the session key which is based on the key which is shared by the certificate. Here the certificate which is shared will have the public key of server. I'll explain this with an Amazon, right? So this is me. Now this is Amazon. Whenever I log into the Amazon website, right, automatically this Amazon website will issue the certificate to me, right, behind the screen. Now the certificate will consist of the public key of the Amazon server. I'll receive the certificate. After that, I'll from my end the browser will generate, or I'll generate a secret key. Now that secret key which has been encrypted using a public key of Amazon, that will be shared, right? After that, once if the data is shared, now the Amazon server will decrypt the key because it has the private key. With the help of the private key, it will decrypt and it will attain the session key. Once if the session key is no extracted after decryption, that session key which is used for entire transaction till I log out. For all the information whatever I am passing till the transaction, this session key from my browser to the Amazon server, as well as Amazon server to my browser, all the informations which are going to be encrypted using a session key which has been generated based on the certificate, I could say digital certificate. I hope this is clear. This is a simple example where the digital certificate is used. Any query regarding this explanation? There are different versions, right, using this SSL, but this is the basic version which is SSL 2.0 protocol. How the digital certificate which is shared among the two entities who are in a communication, right, and how the secret keys are transmitted, how the communication takes place based on the session key which is generated. If you have any queries regarding how this part works, and then you can write in the chat box. So this is again the advanced one. Every versions they have added some other technique, right, in order to increase the security. Okay, that the remaining part, right, related to the SSL, that we will cover in the unit number 5 when we discuss about the network security along with the IP security. I will explain all those related contents. For time being, you just know how the SSL, a protocol which works based on the digital certificate generated, how it creates a secret key or session key, and how the communication which takes place between the browser and the server secretly or securely. Any queries regarding the part which I've explained so far? Any of the topic which I covered so far? I hope all of you have wrote your attendance in the chat box. So with this, we are coming to the end of our today's session, right? And regarding this is regarding the assignment which I already shared with you. Assignment 1 will be whatever the problems which I have given for you, right? Practice problems. So that will be considered as the assignments, right? We can